So mortgage interest rates took about a 0.5% bump last month. How upset should you be about 3% rates? What's happening? I'm JC with the Agajanian Group, and today we're talking about mortgage rates. It's been a pretty popular topic in the news lately, most importantly because we've seen a little bit of a jump lately. It's true, we saw around a 0.5 point or so bump in rates from the absolute historic lows that we have been hovering around for a significantly extended period of time. And it's true. Right now, you can buy a little bit less home with the same amount of money you've got on hand than you could several weeks back. But I'm talking to you today to help put this into perspective. So what I've done is I've grabbed some data both for the past 5 years of what the average rate was for each year, and then I've also done a deeper dive, and we've got an average for each decade over the past several decades, going back to the 70s. I'm going to let you know where those rates are at to help put into perspective of what we're looking at today and what mortgage rates are available for you when you go to get pre-approved, get a contract in place to buy a home, and eventually lock in that rate. So just last year, we had an average rate for the whole year of 2020 of 3.11%. Super low. Still a little bit higher than you can get today, depending on the day. Rates fluctuate every day, but on average. But super low. People were flipping out last year about the rates, and then they dipped even lower over the end of last year and the beginning of this year. And it was insane how cheap the money has been. Go back to 2019, the average rate was just under 4% at 3.9%. Still a phenomenal interest rate. Going back to 2018, we had 4.54, right? So still lower than historical numbers that we've seen, higher than we're looking at today. 2017 actually fluctuated down a little bit at 3.9, right around 4%. You're catching the theme here. And in 2016, we was even lower. The average was 3.65%. So, okay, we've been a little bit lower, we've been a little bit higher than where we're at right now in recent time. But let's look at it a little bit further back. If you go back to the whole decade for the 2010s, for example, the average rate for that decade was just over 4%, still pretty similar, and about 4.09 is what the rate was. In the 2000s, I'm dating myself here, but that's when I got licensed, and I was actually a mortgage broker before I became a realtor. So I remember these rates very well. I was selling people these mortgages, and the average 30-year fixed rate during that first decade of this century was 6.29%. Because of that, most people weren't even taking 30-year fixed rates in the early 2000s. They were taking 5-year fixed and 3-year fixed and 7-year fixed loans that would become adjustable down the road. That's a whole nother story that led us in a different direction, as you probably know. Back in the 1990s, 8.12% was the average. That's significant, right? 1980s, take a guess. 12.7. We had years in the mid to upper teens during that decade. Just nuts. I mean, think about how much less home you can buy with 2, 3, 4 times the interest rate that you would have today. And in the 70s, the average was just under 9% at 8.86%, and nobody really, thought much about it. That was just life. So have we experienced a little bit of a jump from the absolute rock bottom rates that we've seen recently? Yes. But with these historic figures in mind, I hope you realize it's still an amazing opportunity. If you have been on the sidelines, if you've been paying somebody else's mortgage instead of helping pay down your own, and you're ready to just put an end to that, please let me know. I'd love to chat with you and help you understand how these rates play into your financing, connect you with a fantastic mortgage broker, since I don't do that work anymore myself, who will take care of you, that I can trust and that you can trust, and see what happens as we move towards helping you buy that home of your own so that you can gain that equity, so that you can pay down your own mortgage instead of helping a landlord do the same thing. Call me up at 619-224-9898. Love to chat with you. Talk to you soon.